Alright, welcome to today's video. Today we are talking about the anime I Left My A-Rank Party to Help My Former Students Reach the Dungeon's Depths. Holy shit, these titles are getting long. I mean, that's not not a title, that's a syllabus. That's a pitch. But anyways. So I started watching the anime. I'm going to call it Left My A-Rank Party for brevity's sake. But I watched the first few episodes. The impression I have on it, it's part of the I Left My Party genre, which I think started with I got kicked out of my party and went to live a peaceful life in the countryside. Which that anime's premise is weird because they didn't defeat the Demon Lord yet. And then there's like some weird implied there's like implied like the demons want the hero to win, or there's like a cycle or something. It's I didn't get far enough into it to really care, because once again you went from that main plot to everybody farming in the middle of nowhere, which, you know, I grew up on a farm. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do on a farm, but also it's like the world is actively being destroyed right now, guys. They're kind of they're kind of selfish bastards, but on the other hand too, you can say something about there's some interesting thing you can do with the chosen hero trope, actually. So I'll have to maybe dive deeper into that series later. But today we're talking about, like I said, I Left My A-Rank Party to Help My Former Students Reach the Dungeon Depths. And we're going to start off with the main character, Yuke. I don't know if the author just couldn't say L's. I know Japanese struggle with that off the bat. But, you know, it starts out with Luke being a support class, red mage in the story. And if you've played RPGs, you have that classic character that does a lot of cool stuff after you level them up a lot. You know, like there's something to be said about having a lot of status elements, you know, boosting your party. You know, that it's not a bad class, you know, but, you know, his teammates think they're carrying the team and he's doing nothing, so that causes a disagreement. They split apart, and then after the fact, Yuke, I might switch between Yuke and Luke here, just because Yuke is a weird name. It sounds like puke, to be honest, but we're gonna just keep rolling through this. He meets his 3 students. This guy's like 20, by the way. 20, 22, like he's under 25, I think, and he was a teacher. That's I mean, maybe in the magical age that's not too weird, but it's also kind of like, how do you go from... He didn't have a long teaching career, from what I understand so far, just in what the anime has presented. Maybe the book goes into more detail. I'm not getting the book at this point. But he meets a party made up of his old students. Maria, redhead, sword mage. Silk, another name. I'm getting a little tired of the... I mean, I think Silk is actually a name, but I'm getting a little tired of names not being names. You know, like... sorry, Silk is the Dark Elf Archer. She was the de facto leader of their party before they voted Luke in. I'm sorry, my heater's kicking on. It's -7 out. But and then we have the last party member, Rain, who is a blue-haired mage. And I'm just gonna say this right now, right off the bat. These guys are knockoff Rudius and his wives. Like you say, I say that and you think, what are you talking about? No, like Yuke, he uses a lot of, you know, incantus magic, and he's using like slow buff and stuff like that. So but he uses a class that's obscure and people don't understand, which in Mushoku Tensei, I think Rudius, him just using incantus, the way he used magic was just different from everybody else anyways. So that's one thing, but I have my notes listed on non-perverted, bland, nice guy Rudius. Like, that's kind of what he is. I mean, I don't want to say they're one-to-one, but as I didn't think that at first until I saw his students. Like, so we go with Maria. Maria has red hair. She has like this weird thing in her hair, this weird bandana, not a bonnet, some sort of bandana thing. And it made me like, man, that looks like the thing Eris wore at some point in the early part of Mushoku Tensei. Then I think, that's a little weird. Then I meet Silk. She's a white-haired dark elf, and that's one thing too. She's not like a mage like Silky is, but on the other hand too, it's like, okay, that's a little standard. That's a little bit on the tropes, but she's nice, understanding, brings the other two in. Okay, so it's like, okay. Sometimes people just overlap characters, but I have her down as knockoff Sylphie. It's Rain that really cemented that, this is knockoff Mushoku Tensei that's not isekai. And I'm saying that because Rain has a big braid like Roxy, blue hair like Roxy, she's a mage like Roxy, and she's short and petite, which is all I'm going to say for YouTube. So these three are Rudeus's wives. Now, granted, there's overlapping tropes all over the place, so I'm not going to say that was the intention with the author, whose name I did not write down, but it is kind of, once you see it, you can't unsee it. But anyways, just going off of the anime, my first watch of it, the world is a little strange. They're streaming. Like, they have magical devices that stream, so people are streaming their dungeon adventures, which on one hand, it's like, wow, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, it would be, but it'd also be like watching, army guys do, I guess not exactly army guys. It'd be like mercenaries live stream their gunfights. In a way, like, this shit could go really dark really fast. And like in the latest episode 2, I think episode 2 or 3, whichever it was, like Luke, okay, Yuke's former party, like they're getting harassed by these crocodile wolves things. They're getting messed up because Luke isn't supplying up their mana. They didn't bring their own shit for healing or poison. So things are going to shit. They're blaming everything on the new guy when they told him, like, you got to bring everything yourself, man. It's like, I did. Why don't you have this shit? So it's just going into the broader story themes. It's one of those, I don't want to say the author got bullied, but it is kind of that getting back at the popular kids mentality, which I can kind of understand that a little bit, to be honest. It's not realistic, but well, he's making money off it, so he won in the end. But it's a wish fulfillment thing. It's a wish fulfillment thing, which is not bad. A lot of stories are wish fulfillment. I just don't think this one's going to have the legs, although I did kind of spoil myself a little bit when I had to look up everybody's names. And like the Thunderpike guys, like Simon, Jamie, Barry, Camilla, all kind of very generic names that anime use for characters. But they meet an interesting fate. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just interested. I'm just wondering if the anime can handle that, because the anime is animated like Kuma Bear is, or Kuma Bear. It has that very soft, very I think it's pastel. Like the animation is very colorful. I will give them credit that in the battle with Thunderpike versus the crocodile things, there is blood. So the Jamie girl gets chomped down by a crocodile wolf, and you're not seeing like berserk level of gore, but you see her midsection covered in red, which is gore enough for most anime, to be honest. And it's fully implied she will die unless she gets a healing potion right now. And so there is a realism to the world. Like, despite how it looks, how the animation looks, like the animation looks like fucking cotton candy. And what I mean by that, it just looks like it's not as, it's one of those weird Gap Moe things where the show's a lot darker than it's presented in a lot of ways. And I think the darkest element is the streaming, because the streaming is done by this magical robot thing, and it's live streaming. to like the guild's pub. Now in the third episode, I think Luke kind of mentions, well, for live streaming, the guild can see what's going on, they get the information, and they can send help right away. But it's also like the unsaid thing is like, yeah, we're live streaming this, so in case we die, the guild knows what happens. So yeah, so the live streaming thing makes it so much darker because, you know, the girls, when they talk about starting to live stream more, they start worrying about their outfits, their hair, and stuff like that. It's like, and then I look back at Jamie, the mage for Yuke's former party. She is dressed like a magical girl. You know, so she has like, you know, she has like no armor, which she's a mage. Mages don't generally wear armor anyways, but she is wearing them. And obviously in this world, there's the fantasy element where it's like, yeah, you're wearing a suit-like thing, but it has like defense stats. You'll be fine to a certain point, which, yeah, you know, I'm glad they roll with it. I always wonder how, so it's like made of magical thread. I'm willing to buy into that. I'm willing to buy in that Jamie's magical mage outfit has some protective qualities until the point where she almost gets her stomach ripped out. I guess the fact she wasn't bit in half is maybe a testament to its strength. But then it's like she's also wearing like bare shoulders, neck's exposed, thighs are exposed. She's just wearing leggings and boots. It's like, yeah, you're going to die great on camera. You know, that's just how it is. You know, so anyways. So I would rank this anime A-rank party. I left my rank party. I'd rank it currently at, what kind of ranking system am I going to use? We're going to put it at C. We're going from F to S, I guess. We're going the traditional fantasy route. This is a C. This is average. I'm going to call this average. You know, it's one of those. It's a non-isekai, so I'll give it some points for that. But the way this fantasy world is set up, it's kind of the same of like with I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. It's a fantasy world, but it has so many modern things. Like they have TV screens. They're streaming. It's like a magical world that developed the iPhone. Or in this case, I think the Switch. But Switch or the Pure Pad from Legend of Zelda, which is the Switch. But you know, it's like, okay, I feel like they had reached that point somewhere. You know, obviously some wizard with a crystal ball is like, man, I wish I could see this a little clearly. Man, that window looks pretty great. Make TV. You make magic TV, then you have magical iPads that you stream from. It feels weird to hear streaming in a fantasy world, though. I'm going to dock at points for that. But, you know, that's just the way it is. It's an interesting development with the rise of streaming culture in our world and how it's affecting our media. And like I said, there's actually some really, really cool elements and also some really dark implications from this. Because like I said, they are live streaming while they're fighting these dungeons. So if something goes wrong, if there's a party wipe, it's caught on camera. Like everybody sees it. This is like gladiator blood sports level of violence. And some of the spoilers I read, I don't know if this would end up on the stream or if there's some way the guild can end it, but there's a priestess in the asshole party, the Thunderpikes, you know, the party Yuke left. She gets orked. And if you are wondering what orked means, it's what happens to elves when they meet orcs. And I don't know if I can say more than that, to be honest. So, yeah. She thought elves willingly went with orcs, and she's finding out differently. She gets goblinated. Yeah. She is the, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do that in the anime. I don't know if they're just going to imply that. I don't know if they're going to go full Goblin Slayer. I'm curious to see how far the anime is willing to go with this, because right now the anime is kind of presenting everything as very cutesy, but you do kind of see the darker undertones. So I am interested to see where it goes, but once again, I don't think it will ever rise above a C for me, because you have knockoff Rudius, or at least knockoff Rudius's wives, and you have the standard, you don't appreciate me, so I'm leaving kind of thing, which I can understand. People have those feelings all the time. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a good enough premise. It just feels like somebody working out their high school frustrations or their college frustrations. I'd say high school, which I understand. A lot of writers do that. It just it's just one of the things where it has a very, very low ceiling for me, where I don't know if it can ever really, very few can ever rise above C rank, I think. Maybe some can be Bs. I guess it depends on what you think of Mushoku Tensei. People really praise that. I haven't gotten into the novels. I've just been watching the anime. I'd call it A in writing, but there's just some stuff in there that's like, okay. Yeah. If I wasn't so desensitized from watching other anime and certain other things, it's kind of like, okay. But anyways, that's today's video. I would encourage everybody to go give, I left my A-rank party to help my former students reach it. Oh yeah. Oh, that's another thing. This guy's their teacher. Like, this guy's their former teacher. Now, granted, like I said, he's like under 25. Like, he's not that old. So I'm kind of wondering how he was their teacher, unless he's like a guest instructor or something. But however he taught these girls, this is like, man, this just a little extra, just add a little extra spice to this, and you got yourself quite the spicy soup there. So we'll see how this goes. I don't think there's going to go any. I don't think this guy's going to get with any of the students. If nothing else, I think he's going to. If nothing else, I think he would. If there was going to be any pairing, it'd probably be with the hot elf receptionist that he's friends with. I would hope that. I don't know if it's. Like I said, I doubt he's going to get with any of the students. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for that. But yeah, that's today's video. I hope you all had a good time. I hope you had enjoyed my drawing in the background there. This drawing was of Jeanette, dressed as Thorn from my book, Saint Saga: The Black Beast. I'm currently rushing to remake the cover of the first volume because it looks too much like a romance cover. So I already did half of that, so I'm doing this right now as a break to give my arm and wrist a rest because it. But anyways, that's enough of that. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a good day. Bye.